Once again, I come to you guys with the beautiful bird and bellbird soundtrack of the Candelou Hills. It's such a peaceful morning and I'm really excited for today's video. We all dream about getting the perfect homestead, but what you soon realize once you start actually living on the homestead is that nothing is free and nothing is cheap. If anything, to actually establish a homestead from scratch or even maintain it and keep it going, there is a lot of costs involved. And so the question always becomes, how on earth am I going to keep up with the workload and everything that I have to do here on the homestead when I need a full-time job or an income to support it outside? So today I'm going to go through 10 practical ways that you can make money from your homestead for your homestead. Some of them are a lot easier to achieve than others, some of them take a little bit more work, and it really depends on your skill set and what you're interested in to what path you might pursue. Now, I'm not saying this is an exhaustive list and that there are only 10 ways to make money from your homestead, but I've picked 10 that I would consider myself and 10 that I think are achievable for someone starting out. So the first way is labor trade for income. If you've invested in heavy machinery, if you've invested in a tractor or a lawnmower, a ride-on mower especially, if you've invested in anything, even a chicken plucker, this is something that I'm definitely considering once we start meat chickens once again. You can hire out the machinery, you can hire out your services, you can find people that want to access your services through community notice boards. Oftentimes you'll find these at post offices or public spaces. Sometimes cafes have them as well. You can advertise on local notice boards on Facebook. These are really active as well. You can even set yourself up a little business and advertise it through Instagram, through Google, through whatever means is possible for you. And the word of mouth is really going to get out for you and allow you to make this a really plausible income. So not only is your machinery getting plenty of work and is also being put to use so you can regularly maintain it, but this is also a really great way to offset the cost of those heavy machineries to begin with and be able to make money from them moving forward. The next one is probably a favorite, and that is to have a market stall. Are you crafty? Are you a wizard in the kitchen? There has to be a skill that you would be able to create a product from and be able to sell it to the public. Of course, the challenges that come with running a market stall is all of the setup costs, so buying all the equipment that you would need, getting the insurance to protect you and protect the people buying from you, and of course creating the actual product itself takes money too. But it's such a great investment and it's a way to be able to monetize from your homestead and from your skill set before you start growing anything on your property. One day you might be able to expand your little market stall to also have veggies or fruit from your garden, but if that's not your beginning and your skill set is your beginning, then you can still start there. I've seen so many incredible little markets, and different areas definitely have more farmers markets than others. I do understand that. A lot of farmers will travel to go to different markets too, which does take away your weekends, but you can turn this into a time where you are crafting the certain things that you're wanting to sell, and so you're using and utilizing your time really well. I've seen markets for dog treats, I've seen markets for home goods, I've seen people buying secondhand clothes or even selling their own secondhand clothes in markets. There's macrame, there's crochet, there is so many possibilities. I know I personally gravitate towards markets that sell food and preserves, so if you are someone that's really good at making food, if you've got some family secrets that you don't want to share any other way, you can preserve up those jars and sell them to people without having to give away your recipes. The next way to make income from your homestead for your homestead is quite similar to a market stall, and that is to have a farm gate stall. Especially once you have established gardens, you might be able to put more vegetables and things into these market stalls. But another thing you can sell at them is flowers. Another thing you can sell at them is seeds. You can be saving seeds from your garden, or even buying a bulk amount of seeds and dividing it up. You can be really clever with what you do in a little market stall. Now, the advantage to a farm gate stall compared to a market stall is that you don't have to put in your time every weekend. You just set it up and then it's pretty independent. You might just need to check in every day or so to make sure there's no theft and to update products or remove things that have gone bad. One challenge that I do see to the farm gate stall is, depending on your location, depending on where you live, you might not actually have a place to put the stall out the front of your home, which would be the safest place. So I would say talk to a neighbor, talk to some nurseries or shops or farms up along your road, and there might be an opportunity to set one up on their property so that you can access the most amount of people to come and actually look at your goods. The next way to make money is to start a small business. Do you love decorating cakes? Do you love mowing people's lawns? Do you love putting together flower bunches? Maybe you really enjoy putting together antipasto platters for events. I'm sure there is something that you can do really well and that you enjoy doing really well. That's the key to it. You want to enjoy what you're doing if you're going to make a business out of it, that you can profit from and that you can establish a business in. Do some research online around regulations of what you can sell, how you can sell. Open up an ABN, look through council laws, and just have faith in what you're doing. It's going to be difficult at the beginning because not a lot of people will know you, but just through word of mouth, through keeping on going, through being present and being there, you'll be able to grow your small business and hopefully one day make a profit from it. Well, that's the goal, to make a profit from it, isn't it? This next one, take one from our books, start a YouTube channel. This one is definitely not a quick money-making scheme, it is a long-term game. But it's well worth it because once you've put out all the videos, once you have a catalogue out there, there is so many ways for people to find you and for your channel to grow. As long as you're consistent, as long as you're realizing what is actually appealing to your audience and improving as you go, then you should have success on the channel. The benefit of a YouTube channel is it can fit really well into what you're already doing on the homestead, and means you can actually stay on the homestead to tell your stories, share your knowledge, or connect with other people online. If you stay consistent enough on the platform, then eventually you'll be able to monetize your channel, which means you'll be able to make money through AdSense. And then as your channel grows, as you reach out to brands or brands reach out to you, then you can work on doing sponsorships as well, which are also a great way to get an income. Now, I understand that YouTube is not for everyone. You don't have to share your face on YouTube if that's not comfortable for you. You can find other ways to do it. Maybe you've got a lot of skills in animation. Perhaps you've got some disposable income where you can hire out an animation artist. Maybe you would prefer to show like a point of view perspective where the camera points away from your face and at whatever you're doing rather than at you. There's different ways to tell your story and to connect with others, and I think just exploring the platform, exploring what you can do and what works for you is the best way to get started. And you know what? If it's not for you and it's not something you like or you're good at or whatever else, and you just want to leave it and drop it, no harm done. Delete your channel, leave your videos out there, whatever you want to do, you haven't lost much. The next way to make income from your homestead for your homestead is through crowdfunding. When we think of crowdfunding, we often think of people that have very tragic, very sad background stories that are trying to collect money for a cause or for medical bills and other things like that. But did you know there's also crowdfunds for kicking off businesses or kicking off really great ideas from the ground up? These crowdfunds are able to support creators or business owners to kick off an idea and turn it into a real product that helps others. I think if you're going to start a crowdfund, the best thing you can do is create a story around what you're doing and engage people by showing why it matters to them, why it will benefit them. Oftentimes people are very generous, but we all are limited on money. So if you can find a way to show the people who you hope to crowdfund your project why it would benefit them, what it gives back to them, then you're more likely to get more support and that support kind of starts a snowball effect where more and more people jump on board. As a teacher, I love this next one, and that is to teach a skill and earn an income from that. Are you a musician? Are you an artist? Are you a gardener? Are you a cook? There has to be a skill that you would be able to teach others, and people love to learn, and they love to learn with someone that truly knows the craft of their skill, that truly knows how to actually do the thing they're doing. It gives us confidence to learn from others, and I think it's just a really beautiful way to share something about yourself with someone else and also be able to earn an income in return. In every type of job, in every type of skill, in every type of hobby, there are always going to be a range of people all the way from beginner to advanced. So you can cater your teachings to whichever style you would prefer. So maybe you want to teach guitar lessons to beginners. Perhaps you want to teach art skills to really advanced people so that you can get the most out of your brain power and the skills that you have. You could consider doing classes for children or adults or somewhere in between. There are so many different ways to take a skill and teaching that skill and change it up depending on what suits you. The lessons also don't necessarily have to be physical. They don't have to happen in person. If they are happening in person, you could do this on your homestead. You could hire out a space in a local hall. You could approach businesses that might be able to accommodate you in their space. But if you don't want to do a physical lesson, you can always go online. That's why we've got these communities available. You could do your lessons through Zoom. You could do your lessons through a course. You could do your lessons one-on-one, perhaps with a different platform. You don't have to think that teaching a skill has to happen in person, especially if that's not your cup of tea. And there's just something so beautiful about connecting with your community in this way and learning from one another. The next source of income is to sell what you have in excess. We all love chickens, and we know that we start with 6 and we very quickly move up to 50. So if you have a bunch of chickens laying lots more eggs than you and your family need, you could consider approaching your neighbors and selling those eggs to them. You don't have to go to the wider public to make a small income that's going to be substantial as it adds up. The benefit to this as well is that if you've got more neighbors and people in the community wanting to buy chicken eggs, then that can support you to get more chickens, therefore making more eggs, therefore selling to more people, and grow it from there. I've checked online, and you don't actually need to get a license to sell eggs if you are selling less than 100 dozen a week. 100 dozen eggs, guys, that's a lot. So check your regulations, check your local council's rules to see how many you can sell and to make sure that you are doing the right thing. Keep your flock happy, and you're going to have happy eggs and happy neighbors too. I love this next one, and it's definitely going to be one that I think we pursue into the future, and that is to raise extra animals for other people too. So if you are already raising a pig for meat, or perhaps 50 chooks for meat, it doesn't take too much more effort to double that, to have 2 pigs or 100 chickens and raise those up for someone that might not have land. Often other people might not have the time, they might not have the space or the land or even the knowledge to raise their own animals for meat. So this is where you can come in and help them out. The people you intend to grow for might invest with the deposit at the beginning and then pay the rest later. This can help to cover costs of feed. It can help to cover the cost of the equipment that you're going to need, as well as your time. And the beautiful thing of this is that you're already going to be looking after these animals and doing what you're doing for them day in, week out. And so adding a little bit extra to your load may not be that bad, especially some animals. This is easier than others. The benefit of doing something like meat chooks for a lot of other people as well means that at the end you've got a few extra sets of hands to help you with the butchering process. And also, if you are hiring a mobile butcher or going to a butcher to do your animals, there is often discounts involved with having multiple animals or a certain amount of animals. So it might actually end up more cost efficient for you to do it with other people too. And this last one to make income is definitely one that we have personally been able to benefit from for the last little while, and that is to rent out some of your land. If you've got a huge block of land, there might be financial incentive or even labor incentive to be able to get someone with a self-sufficient home to come and rent out a space on your land. For someone with a caravan, a van or a bus, as long as they're doing the right things, they're maintaining their rubbish correctly, they've got all the utilities they need, and they're nice, clean, friendly people. By clean, I mean they're not leaving their junk around. It's okay if they don't shower for a little while. Don't judge them. But you are going to make a world of difference to people that are struggling to get into the housing market or perhaps just want to live an alternative lifestyle. If you would prefer not to rent out your land for longer periods of time, you might put in place a clause where it's only for a few days or a week. Perhaps you set up a camping space or Airbnb spaces. There is a lot of income you can make from your land, and especially if you have heaps of space that isn't being utilized, that perhaps is getting overgrown with weeds or is just not getting the love it should, this is a really great way to grow your community and support people. Let me know which one of these income streams is something that you might consider or haven't even thought about, and also if you've got any other things that maybe you do or know other people do that helps them make income from their land for their land. Because once again, let's say it, homesteading is not cheap, it's not free, and it costs money to do. So you're going to need to find a way to earn some income, save yourself the stress of having to leave the homestead, find some ways to do it on the homestead. And yes, hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.